Hello and welcome to this 23rd and final lecture in this section on algorithm selection and development in this course Master in Artificial Intelligence. So in this particular lecture we will take you through an example that will illustrate you the whole process of researching, selecting and developing appropriate machine learning algorithms or deep learning architectures based on the problem at hand and the available data. So let us look at this example of researching and selecting and developing these machine learning algorithms based on the problem at hand and the available data. Yeah. So this is an example where the team was working on a project to develop a system for sentiment analysis for customer reviews of a retail company, right? And how they went about doing the research, how they selected and developed appropriate machine learning algorithms. Let's take a look at for this problem and the data that is available. So first they started by understanding the problem domain and specific requirements of this project. In this case, the goal is to analyze the customer reviews, a sample of which you see here, to determine the positive, negative, or neutral sentiments associated with each review. So that was the problem, that was the project goal. So it was to analyze these customer reviews and determine for each of the reviews what is the sentiment. Is it positive, negative, or neutral? And that's what machine should be able to do. Then they collected a data set to review the customer reviews along with their corresponding sentiment labels, positive, negative, and neutral. So this was the starting data. And they explored the data set to understand its characteristics that included things like distribution of sentiments, the length of reviews, and the vocabulary used. So that's how the data collection and exploration happened. Then they did the literature review. They conducted a literature review to where they identified relevant research papers, articles, and resources on sentiment analysis, natural language processing, because that is a part of this, and the machine learning techniques for text classification tasks, because they identified this as a text classification kind of output needed. And they learned about the state of art algorithm, architectures, and methodologies used in sentiment analysis tasks. So that's how the entire literature review happened. Then the team went into algorithm selection based on the problem requirement, available data, and literature review. They selected appropriate machine learning algorithms and deep learning architectures for sentiment analysis, and in which they considered algorithms such as support vector machines, SVM, naive Bayes, logistic regression, recurrent neural networks, convolutional neural networks, and transformer based model like BERT, right? So that's how the algorithm selection happened. Then they got into developing the baseline models using the selected algorithms and architecture to establish the performance benchmarks. They pre-processed the text data, and they did that by tokenizing, normalizing, and vectorizing the text and encoding the sentiment level. So different kinds of data was pre-processed differently, as you can see here. They split the data set as required into training, validation, and test sets, basically for model training, tuning, and evaluation respectively, right? So that's how the model development happened. Then they got into model training. They trained the baseline models using the training data and validated their tech performance using the validation set. They evaluated the models using appropriate evaluation metrics like accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, area under the ROC curve, And finally, they optimize performance by fine-tuning hyperparameters and by experimenting with different model configuration. They went on to compare the performance of the different model based on the evaluation criteria and selected the best performing model as the baseline. So that's how the model selection finally happened based on the performance comparisons. Then they refined the optimize. They refined and optimized the selected model by experimenting with advanced techniques such as transfer learning, ensemble methods, data augmentation, and hyperparameter tuning. And they fine-tuned the model architecture, adjusted the regularization parameter, and explored different optimization algorithms to improve performance. The final stage of validation and testing, pre-final stage, they validated the refined model using validation set to ensure that it generalizes well to unseen data, the new data that will come in, that was coming in, and they tested the final model on the test set to obtain a unbiased estimate of its performance on real world data. Then finally, the deployment into production and real life in integration. They deployed the training model into production environment and integrated into application workflow for sentiment analysis and of customer reviews. And then they set up a inference service or API endpoints to serve predictions in real time and provide insights to stakeholders. So that was the whole story. So by following these steps, this company could research, select and develop appropriate machine learning algorithm and deep learning architectures for sentiment analysis of customer reviews, ultimately building a robust and effective system for analyzing customer sentiments in real world scenarios. So what is next? So having looked at this example of researching, selecting and developing algorithms and machine learning algorithms and deep learning architectures, we will look at one very critical piece of this model development called feature engineering. Your model can be only good as the features that you selected. So how do you select the meaningful features from the data to build machine learning model is the topic of the next section with few lectures there. So thank you so much for watching this 13th algorithm selection and development lecture. I hope you continue to learn a lot of new things in this large section. You have enjoyed it, and I do look forward to seeing you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer a question, and also download the PDF file to take a look at anything there you need to see in greater detail.